Yeah, it was pretty good in that match. Yeah, TGC, those are some pretty good games. Really grindy. So we're gonna go first here. We'll keep here. Cursecatcher's good on the play. Hopefully a turn 2 master. Wasteland is good. I think we keep this. It's a little bit light on interaction, but it's got the potential for a fast clock. And we're able to push our Merfolk through with the Cavern. So hopefully it doesn't get wastelanded. So we'll start off with Cursecatcher. Update my stream title here real quick. So one interesting thing about playing Vintage online is you see a lot of you see the same people playing pretty frequently. So like Synergizer Bunny, for instance, it's just kind of a name I recognize from hanging out in the tournament practice room, and that happens with a lot. So I don't really think it's. Yeah, I mean he's got the land up, so there's no point in trying to catch him with Cursecatcher. So he kind of knows that he's free to do any kind of broken stuff he wants. Except for that Cursecatcher. Yeah, Strip Mine's legal in Vintage. You know, there's very few cards that are actually banned in Vintage. There's some conspiracy cards. There's some of the older cards that talk about antis. But other than that, they don't really have a ban unless they have a restricted list. So you're still able to play with one of most cards in Magic. So now I have to decide if I want to run out a master and build my clock. Well, now I don't have to decide. I can just run out both masters, maybe? So I'm going to Wasteland here, and I'm just going to try to run out both masters. If he tries to counter one, I'd give up a Cursecatcher for that. So that first one's going to be uncounterable, and then this one. Alright, so, and he's a blue deck, so this Island Walk is pretty relevant. So even if he's able to get, I don't know if he's Just Guy, but gets a Mentor out, gets a Young Pyromancer out, all those little blockers won't do anything if I still have one of these masters. So it's kind of another advantage of Merfolk. Obviously, Vintage is a very blue format, so all of the Island Walk ends up being very relevant. It's also nice when he double Lightning Bolts himself. 1, 2, 3 Gitaxian Probes. So we've almost got lethal on the board. Another Lord would do it. So, well, you know, originally I thought that, so TGC Requiem, originally I thought that he was probably on Just Guy. Just because Just Guy's pretty popular online, and I saw the Volcanic Island. He still could be, might be splashing for black. But there's a deck called Grixis Thieves in Vintage, and I'm like really new to the format, so I don't have a lot of confidence in calling you know, decks yet. A lot of times it's just more of like a general feeling, like I know if a deck is like a Gush deck, or you know it's big blue, or it's you know, if it's a Shops deck. They kind of fit into these like broad archetypes, but there's a lot of room for brewing, a lot of room for like tweaks in Vintage. So sometimes that makes it a little harder to, you know, nail down exactly what deck you're playing. But I think you kind of get like a general feel for what your opponent's trying to do. So Misstep's not bad. I mean, he basically has one turn to find an answer. And even then I have the Cursecatcher to try to prevent something. I've got Mental Misstep. So Opal. So actually, with how many artifacts I'm seeing, I'm guessing this is probably a Paradoxical Oath deck, and I could just die this turn. So that's pretty bad. So we got more than enough mana. Yeah, so I think I'm probably just dead this turn. I can't counter it. So, kind of in Paradoxical Oath, I don't think it hasn't been putting up a whole lot of tournament results, but it is definitely one of the most played decks in the tournament practice room. If my experience, I probably should have misstepped that. If my experience is anything to go off of, probably not the worst thing to get the Divining Top instead. I mean, he's already got so much mana. You know, the 2 up the Soul Ring probably doesn't matter too much, but the card draw with the so actually, like a Time Twister would be really sweet here. So Empty the Warrens is good, because I have Island Walk. So let's let those all resolve. Yeah, so he has to find a way to get rid of these. Oh, yeah, so he just time walked. So we'll concede. Alright, so Paradoxical Outcome. I like Surgical Extraction. True-Name's a little bit slow. Don't really need Dismember. Null Rod's obviously very good. I could bring in Stifles. Not really sure what I'd Stifle. I don't know enough about the deck to know any like fetches, if I'll catch them on a fetch, or and Stifle is just kind of worse in Vintage than it is in Legacy anyway, because Mental Misstep's a card. Yeah, I think just bringing in the Surgical Extractions is good. Hopefully counter the first Paradoxical Outcome, and then grab the second one from the graveyard, or grab it from the graveyard, get all the rest of them. So this is really good. We're gonna be able to get a turn 1 Null Rod hopefully with Forceful backup. So this is why you play Vintage. Yeah, you can't Stifle Black Lotus because it's a mana ability, as far as I know. I've never actually tried to Stifle one, but that's kind of my thought. So I might as well... So my Mox Sapphire and my Lotus Petal... So I'm a little bit tempted to run out the True-Name Nemesis first. Make use of that Lotus Petal. wait a turn to do a Null Rod. I'm not sure how much broken stuff he can do turn 1 when I have a Force of Will. And the Lotus Petal is not going to be good after the Null Rod resolve, so we'll see if he's got the Force of Will. So that gives us a clock. Hopefully he doesn't do anything too broken next turn. If he does, I might be able to Force of Will. And then hopefully stick this Null Rod. And these decks are really bad without Null Rod. Yeah, Stifle would be really good if you could get mana abilities. Well, that's pretty good. So, you know, with the True-Name out, I have a clock. I don't necessarily mind drawing into another Null Rod just in case it's not able to get through. So we'll try to get this first one down. So it does limit our mana, but again, that's kind of why we let out with the True-Name Nemesis. It gives us a clock that's super hard to remove. And even on 1 mana, you know, sometimes True-Name Nemesis is enough to just kind of win the game on its own. So that's fine. That's pretty good too. They do run Chain of Vapor. Well, I can't cast that second one because my Mox Sapphire doesn't work. So, but I got Mental Misstep. It'd be nice to draw another blue card now. So that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and misstep that. It does get rid of my force, but I'm just really hoping to draw into another blue card. I'm kind of hoping that the Null Rod's kind of enough of a safety net that I can afford to do that. So maybe that's the wrong play. Maybe it was good to just hold on to that force, but we got there. So this is where that Chain of Vapor could be bad next turn, because I'm not going to be able to force it. But obviously if I spend my force on this, then I'm not going to have a force anyway. So I think at that point, I'd just rather save onto the Phantasmal Image and just hope to draw into the land and just increase my clock. Yeah, Josh, or TGC Requiem. I definitely can't. This force is kind of a dead card now, but if I wanted to force, I would have had to get rid of this Phantasmal Image. And if I had drawn a land instead of this Mental Misstep, then I could have cast the Phantasmal Image and at least increased my clock by copying True-Name Nemesis. And if I had wasted my force on the defense grid, then I wouldn't have it available for a paradoxical outcome or anything anyway. I don't really think there's anything that I really want to grab with the Surgical Extraction. Okay. Love you. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I won't stream as long as I plan to then. Okay, good night. Yeah, so, I mean, I could extract Preordain just in case he's just digging for answers. But, you know, I think that the worst thing that could happen next turn is he could Chain of Vapor the Null Rod and just go off. But if not, if I draw another land, I might be able to get my Lord down, swinging for 4. So we'll just see if he has it, or she. Yeah, it might have been okay to force a will that defense grid. I mean, seeing my draws, I kind of just would have had Mental Misstep anyway. So I don't think I would have been able to keep from doing anything too busted. But I was really just banking on hopefully drawing another land to be able to get another True-Name Nemesis out with that Phantasmal Image, and then maybe just a backup Null Rod. So I think I still like this configuration even on the draw. I don't think there's really anything else in the board worth bringing in. Again, maybe just the Stifles. I'm not really sure if they run any basics. Ghost Quarter might just be as good as a Strip Mine, but with how much, I mean, it just kind of keep them off colored mana. So those Ghost Quarters be better than, say, like I could take out like one True Name on the draw and bring in one Ghost Quarter. Does slow me down a little bit. I think we'll try this. Run it back. So we got the Force of Will. We've got a Null Rod, we've got a land. So we're really just one land away from having a really good start. I think I'm going to risk this one just because it has some pretty powerful cards. And just kind of hope I draw into a land in the next 2 turns. So he's mulliganing 2, so that just kind of makes the keep a little bit better. Do they run Past in Flames? I'm not totally sure about that. They run Time Twister, and I think some of them run Wheel of Fortune. So I kind of want to misstep this. I mean, it just keeps them off card. I think the information is maybe even a little bit more valuable. So we got another Force of Will. Yep, so might drop a lot of. So now we will Force of Will this. And let's get rid of a Lord. So he's down to 2 cards. Just draw a land would be great. So I might just have to wait a turn or 2. But we still have some good interaction. Preordain, I'll misstep that. On 2 cards, I don't really want him fixing his draw. So there's our island. Here's a Null Rod. Not only does that, you know, it's pretty much a strip mine at this point. Doesn't hurt us in any way. So now we'll start using these Silvergill Adepts to try to get back some card advantage. So this hand is just getting better and better. So that's fine. Useless Mox. I mean, they do still contribute to Tolarian Academy. Not really sure there's, you know, much reason to just run them out, but so he's gonna Chain of Vapor. So I'm gonna Misstep. So that's one thing I really like about Merfolk, is that it just runs a lot of interaction, like a full play set of Mental Missteps, full play set of Force of Wills. I could fit, you know, Mind Break traps if I didn't want to mainboard Null Rods, but I'm able to fit, you know, 3 mainboard Null Rods. There's just a lot of really good general answers. So you can see we won that match.